Good afternoon, everyone. So I have another video for you guys today. This afternoon's video, we're going to do a risotto. And that, if you remember from class, is an Italian rice. And you could make it with any kind of meat, seafood, vegetables, a little bit of cream, whatever you like. But it is a creamy rice. It's a little bit different from just plain boiled rice. So we're going to start off today. We're going to do a shrimp risotto. And we're going to start off with our shrimp, onions, and garlic. We're going to saute them together. A little bit of butter. We're going to set it aside. Season it up maybe, and then set it aside. And then we're going to start our rice. So, first thing I'm going to do is wash my hands. And the ingredients we have for our risotto today, we have onions, fresh garlic, shrimp that's been peeled and deveined already, granulated garlic, even though we have fresh garlic. I have a chicken stock that I made, Parmesan cheese, black pepper, curry, a little bit of Old Bay, and we have milk, and of course our rice. So we're going to start off with rough chopping our onions and our garlic. So I want to cut the stem end off and then the root end off. And once again, always remember your kitchen safety and your the way you cut and the way you hold your knife and the way you hold your food. Always make sure your fingers are curved in. Cut our onion in half. I'm going to peel the first layer. We're going to cut with the grain. Nice thin slices. And we're going to cut across. So I have a diced onion right there. So with the grain. And then across. I think we'll do one more onion. Stem end, root end, cut our onion in half, peel, again, peel, get that first layer off. And then across. Okay, so we have that. Do maybe a couple of cloves of garlic. Peel our garlic. We're just going to do a rough chop. So we have our onions and our garlic. I'm going to put them into a saute pan. We're going to start to saute these on medium heat. We want to give them a little bit of a head start. And after about 2 or 3 minutes, we'll add our shrimp. Because the shrimp cooks a lot faster than the onions and the garlic. So we want to give them a head start. Then we'll add the shrimp. We don't want to overcook the shrimp. And I'm sauteing in a little bit of butter today. Let that butter melt. I'm going to season this up a little bit. We'll do some black pepper. And a little bit of Old Bay. Since we're using shrimp, you give it a little bit more of a seafood flavor. We're going to do a little bit of curry. Let's saute that up. As our butter melts. Start to smell the aroma of our seasonings already. Mixed with that fresh garlic and the onion. Really nice. That's it for a minute. I wanted to clean up our peelings. I always like to clean up as I go, so it's not such a mess at the very end when you're ready to eat. Right, we'll let that sit for a minute or two, and then we're going to add our shrimp. I know we've done risotto in school. You guys really enjoyed it, and we did it with the Italian sausage and mushrooms, and I know how some of you guys despise mushrooms, so I didn't use mushrooms today. I'm going to do some onions, garlic, and shrimp. It's really starting to cook down now. Right. It's been a couple of minutes. I'm going to add our shrimp. After I peeled and deveined our shrimp, I rinsed them in a little cold water. And it doesn't take long for the shrimp to cook. They'll start to turn a little bit pink. And once they're no longer translucent, they're a pinkish white, they're completely cooked. We don't want to overcook the shrimp because they'll get a little tough and rubbery. We just don't want that. And our shrimp mixed with our seasonings and our onions and garlic and the butter is really starting to become aromatic. Very pleasant. There are literally thousands of recipes of risotto. You could do any way you want. This is one of my favorites, but more importantly, it's one of my wife's favorites. So, she will be happy this evening. She's giving me a smile there. So this won't take too long. Maybe another 2 minutes. Onions, huh? Yeah. A little strong today.
Yes.
Right. You can see how our shrimp has turned colors. It went from that gray translucence to a pinkish white. It's almost done, maybe another half a minute. And the onions are soft. Alright, folks. So that is done. I'm going to move it off the burner. I'm going to swap with our stock pot now. Again, medium heat. I want to melt our butter. And once our butter melts, we're going to add our raw rice. And we're going to let the rice absorb all of that butter. And then we're going to add a little bit of the chicken stock that I made. Just enough to cover the rice. Let it simmer. So our butter's about melted. I'm going to add about two and a half cups of rice, raw rice. And when you cook rice, it almost triples in size. So we want to stir it. We're going to actually saute that down with our butter. Oh, I might do maybe another half a cup or so. We'll share some with our neighbors tonight. So I'm letting that rice saute a little bit in our raw butter, or in our butter, that raw rice. We want to keep it stirred. We don't want it to stick. By any means, we don't want it to stick. If it does, it'll start to burn and ruin this recipe. So our rice has pretty much absorbed all of that butter. I'm going to add some chicken stock. And I only want to add enough stock just to cover the rice. You want to pretty much keep it stirred constantly because you don't want that rice to stick and burn to the bottom. So I'm going to take a minute or two and I'm going to make up some more chicken stock. And how I do that, I use our chicken base, about a tablespoon, and this is a 4-cup measure. I'm going to add some hot water. We want to dissolve that chicken base. I want to do a little bit of garlic.